Good morning, viewers. I originally wanted to skip movie night because I wasn't too much into the few movies that came out this week. But after talking to a friend of mine, I was convinced to at least give it a shot to the Mission Impossible franchise. Truth to be told, I almost never watch any of the Mission Impossible movies. Except the third one. I did saw the third one many years ago. And you know what? I remember liking the movie more like an action film, but I didn't think that it was kind of like my cup of tea. Maybe because I do have a little bit of a difficulty on understanding and following very complex spy movies. But despite that, I do know the basis of most of those spy movie franchises. I know the basis of what made Mission Impossible popular. In the old TV series where they ham-fisted on the TV channel where I lived. I saw a parody involving Ecuadorian actors, which they gave me a bit of a chuckle. I know that one of the most iconic things of Mission Impossible is that they are. I think they were the ones that implemented the typical message that self-destructs in a timer or something like that. You know, the typical this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Some people joke about it, but it's the thing that is mostly remembered about it. For the film franchises that stars Tom Cruise, I only saw the third movie. But I also have to tell you that I do have some video game experience with Mission Impossible. I played the NES version of Mission Impossible. Boy, that this game was so hard. But I remember that it was a lot of fun. It's a fun game, but really hard. And also, the closest I can think of a Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt, Mission Impossible experience that I had is when a friend of mine we exchange video games. It's kind of like a borrowing system that we implement. I don't remember what I lent him. But I borrow the Mission Impossible for Nintendo 64. I don't know if that game is based on the first movie or something like that, because I do remember that what's mostly iconic on that movie is just the dangling scene. You know, when Ethan Hunt is on a cord and he goes down. Cartoons even parody that. So technically, I'm pretty much not the exact person to talk about the Mission Impossible franchise, but because the friend of mine told me that he needed some company to watch the Mission Impossible movie since he seen the other ones, and considering that I heard that many people liked the franchise, I decided to give it a go. I had nothing better to do, so I went there. And honestly, it beats going to see this Teen Titans Go that also came out. Ugh. And you know what? I came out liking it. I actually really like this movie. I don't excuse the bird upstairs is very noisy. But anyway, I really dug it. I like the Mission Impossible Fallout. That's the latest movie I saw. Mission Impossible Fallout. The 6th movie of this long series. And it's pretty funny that the Mission Impossible franchise is probably the kind of like I will consider the best pillar for Tom Cruise to have a very decent line of work and a very decent reputation. Because, don't get me wrong, I like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a good actor. Sometimes he picks up some weird roles on weird movies. And I think this is the way Tom Cruise comes to the audience to say, I'm sorry for my horrible presentation in The Mummy. But not only for Tom Cruise, but also for Henry Cavill, who played this CIA agent named Walker. And the most iconic thing that he has in this movie is that he has the infamous mustache / beard that he used during the reshoots of the Justice League movie. And so he's kind of also in the same boat of Tom Cruise. Last year they were on shitty movies, and now they're there to make a better movie out of it. And this is not the exact kind of movie that you're gonna look for something meaningful or kind of like these, how can I say, very intelligent movie that's kind of trying to find a theme, a moral, or something like that. It's technically just a well-executed action movie. It kind of destroys the physics of reality, but hey, that's the magic of movie making. But for me, describing this movie like I usually do, it's gonna take a long time to grasp. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible. But story-wise, it's as simple as it's convoluted, in my opinion. Because technically the mission is that they're gonna have to Ethan Hunt and his pals, the actor Rick Grimes and one was Simon Pegg. Their mission is to retrieve 3 balls of plutonium that are the ingredient for nuclear bombs, because a group of terrorists and also a group of underground brokers known as apostles. They just want they have this, how can I say, underground market convoluted plan that terrorists want to instigate nuclear destruction. Because apparently the leader of those crazy terrorists says that for peace you need great suffering or something like that. I kind of don't remember, but it has a lot of political backstabbing, political stuff that I kind of got lost, but not very lost. It's much difficult to talk about it in details. So it's not that kind of movie that you can squarely say a giant synopsis in one way or another. The best way I can say it is that Ethan Hunt, go get those plutoniums. That's it. And just see the chain of events that happen in a very, very entertaining way. But if you're looking at a little bit of character development, it does has, considering that we are talking about Ethan Hunt, who's been an agent, a secret agent for a long time, and now he's kind of considering the what if, what is not, or something like that, and sometimes he has to make some really harsh decisions, and he tries to find a way in which it doesn't involve too much innocent casualties. And I think that this is part of a brilliance in constructing how we have an agent who that despite all odds, he tries to find out a third option, which is probably the rogue one, the one that he's gonna get yelled at or being indiscriminated by many others. But sometimes a third option or the rogue option is the best solution you could get. There's also the aspect where Ethan Hunt also has his love interest and the life that and there's also the, how can I say, his reasoning and also his dilemma of continuing this line of job in which it doesn't give him enough time for a social life because he's too altruistic of a man that he had to leave the love of his life behind to live an calm married life. He just say that I can't do it. Sometimes people depend on me, and I want to save them. That's an interesting take on what secret agents they have to drop, the aspect of their life that they must drop in order to fulfill a mission. Because as far as I can tell, the Mission Impossible agents are very dedicated to their life of secret agents. And as far from what I know, most of those cases involve world threats. I mean, in this case, we're talking about a group of terrorists who they want to get their hands on plutonium and also these atomic bombs that they were going to get constructed, and man, everybody is really afraid of nuclear war. So no wonder it has a big urgency on the mission, and it keeps you on the thrill very, very long enough to keep your interest on the movie. Considering that that the movie felt for me a little bit too long, it's a 2-hour film. I didn't felt bored. Almost all the moments I just looking at the screen. Oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? There are some parts that are predictable. I don't mind that. But there are some parts that they really catch me off guard. There is one particular scene that I will not spoil you, but it does involve the infamous mask. Really, they have really, really good mask. I was thinking something. If the special effects crew are capable of creating masks that realistic, or maybe it's really gonna be a challenge to how can I say, to implement them in real life cases. But that's just me. Maybe they're just using the trick of swapping actors. Just saying. I just had a little bit of a brain fart just thinking. Just think about it. Now the dogs are. See, this is why I usually, when I film, I don't usually do it in daytime. I prefer to do it at nighttime when things doesn't happen very often. A small nitpick that I have about the movie is most of it personal, because since this is the second genuine Mission Impossible movie that I have seen on a movie theater, some events that happen in the movie kind of get me lost. Like, for example, I didn't know much about what was it, Rebecca Ferguson's character backstory, and also I didn't know too much about the bearded villain played by Sean Harris backstory. Yeah, by the way, Sean Harris pretty good. He was such a crazy dude, and that got me lost. But I felt lucky that the movie actually addressed some clues to tell me, okay, this is something that happened a few times ago here and there, kind of to make you understand for newcomers. Well, technically me, and now that I think of it, I am a little bit of a newcomer in the Mission Impossible movies. If maybe I have the chance, maybe I could watch the other movies. I heard the second one is pretty crazy and people consider it the black sheep of the franchise. But I don't know, I don't care. The only thing that I do remember is that everyone is talking about that in Mission Impossible 2, they have the sunglasses and he throws it. I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. But that's pretty much the only few nitpicks that I have with the movie. Oh yeah, there's also a little bit of humor, which it wasn't a little bit of my taste in a way because most of those humors are how can I say is awkward. I think there were 3 instances that there was a little bit of awkward humor. It's not kind of like slapping your face humor, but I can understand people that notice it going on. Oh, okay, okay, this is awkward. And those and those are the things I can say from the movie. Good action scenes, which is surprising considering that it comes from Tom Cruise. I don't know how old is Tom Cruise. Maybe it's in his 50s and his 60s. He technically has a little bit of Jackie Chanish energy in a way. Not like doing extreme stunts or something like that. But he's doing a very decent job. Or I don't know if he's using stunt doubles. I heard that he does his own stunts. That's kind of admirable. And by the way, is it me or Tom Cruise doesn't look very, very aged? Apparently, Lord Xenu kind of gave him the power of not aging too much. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No offense to Scientologists or something like that. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to address the elephant in the room. Yeah, Henry Cavill. He was also pretty good. Good. I kind of like the idea that he was a CIA agent who he's on the lookout on. How can I say? Ethan Hawke. Yeah. And at first they kind of play out like they are kind of like an odd couple until there is a very predictable twist, kind of almost like in the point of the movie in which I was like, oh, I kind of knew that it went there. I'm not gonna reveal out of it. But the only thing that I can take out from Brad Jones when he said it in his Mission Impossible review is that, yeah, it's the mustache. The mustache tells you all about this character. That's the only thing I can say about this. And that's it. I think this is all the basic things that I can say about Mission Impossible Fallout. It's a great movie. Maybe it could be one of my best of the year, but again, I'm not that giant follower of spy movies, or especially when they're a little bit that convoluted on the mission political plots that has happened. Maybe there's a charm. Maybe there's a charm in it. I like spy movies. I like stuff like that. It's not. I will say that it's probably not my biggest priority when it's about taste on movies. So check it out. Even if you haven't seen the other Mission Impossible movies, it's a great popcorn flick. You're not gonna regret watching this movie, and that is a mission that you should take it wholeheartedly. This review will self-destruct in 5 seconds.